Well, good evening, guys, and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So, guys, I do not have a Meyer haul for you guys today. I think I was telling you guys yesterday that I should have it for you guys on Wednesday or Thursday. The thing is, I will also not have it for you on Thursday. Instead, my dad is actually going to be home from work on Friday. So we're probably going to go on Friday and then hopefully get some other things done, because my dad did talk to my cousin to try and schedule out when they will be able to do the floors and, you know, the ceiling work in the other room and all that kind of stuff for the 2 bedrooms that we're kind of finishing up. So he did talk to him and he said, you know, anytime after the 22nd will work for us, I think is what he said. So it gives us kind of 2 weeks. The thing is, we have things going on both weekends. This weekend is my cousin's wedding reception. They actually got married on a cruise, so they're doing like a family like reception for everybody, you know, like to celebrate with everybody this weekend. And then the following weekend, my aunt and uncle are having like a like block party with all of like their neighbors and stuff like that, and invited us to come. So we're gonna go to that next weekend. So we have got stuff going on both of those weekends, but hopefully the plan is to be able to get some stuff done during the week. But my dad also doesn't have work though on Friday, and I think possibly next Friday as well he might not, or maybe like the Monday after that or something. But either way, he like, I think there's gonna be maybe a couple weeks where he won't have like work on like a Monday or Friday or something like that. So this week though, on Friday he will be off, so we'll go then. And then we also, like I said, have some like other things that we have to kind of get done before we can move on with the, you know, again, being able to paint this room before my cousin comes to, you know, his company's gonna come and they're gonna do the floors and then the patchwork in the other room. So like I said, we've got some stuff to do with that, but that is one of the things that my dad will also be able to do on Friday before the football game though. And then because it's away, I'm going to assume, I don't think we're at a school that's going to be really far away like any of the other ones that we've gone to so far. Thankfully, it will hopefully be like a half an hour or under that, I think, is how close we're gonna be, which will be nice. But it's not gonna be any of these like long hour-ish plus like ones that we've had so far this season, which have been pretty brutal. We've had, you know, a couple of those that have been pretty long drives. So this one is, like I said, going to be, I believe, a little bit closer. But we've got that on Friday, so it shouldn't be like insanely early though, like that we have to leave. Like last week we had to leave at like, I don't know, 4 o'clock or something like that for the game that was like at 7 or whatever it was, because they have to get there ahead of time and, you know, all that stuff. But anyways, like I said, we will be good for, you know, like for Friday, and we'll go to Meyer and maybe even 1 or 2 of the other stores. Like maybe my dad will actually go to Tony's and Caputo's. Maybe we might even go do Jewel, I don't know. The thing is that the Bears game is on Sunday at like 8 o'clock or whatever it is, because they're the London game. So I think it's on at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So we're not gonna be able to go to the grocery store if we do like Jewel or whatever first thing in the morning on Sunday, because the Bears are playing at like 7 or 8. Like I said, I think it's 8 or 8:40 or something. So it's gonna be a really early game, so we're not gonna be able to go like before then, because like even Aldi doesn't open until 9 o'clock. I think Jewel might open that early, but I don't know if we're gonna get there and get done before that. So anyways, I don't know. I'm just gonna have everything ready for Friday and we'll see what we end up going to. But then on Saturday, because the wedding, we're not gonna be able to go, or we're probably won't be able to go. And then my dad also, I think, and Jack don't have football, or they might just go for a little bit in the morning and then have to leave. But they have like normally a couple hour practice, or like coaches normally stuff on Saturday. And like the kids also all come in for like treatment and stuff like that, like to get wrapped up, like if they have like, you know, again, like a foot they need wrapped or an arm or something like that from the game, or like any other type of treatment, like they need ice for, you know, something like a muscle, or like they even have ice baths and stuff like that, which I didn't know. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Plus like they'll also do like not like massages, but like kind of chiropractic stuff too, like as well, and like different things like that. So you know, like different types of like muscle stretching and like that kind of thing, like they'll do it through the trainers like after Friday, after the game. So they a lot of times have like most of the kids come in on Saturday anyway, but they haven't had a practice really on Saturday all that much. They have, but I don't even know maybe if they have this season, but they have sometimes. But anyways though, that is what it looks like for this week, and again, when I should have stuff for you guys and hauls, videos and everything like that. But also guys, today I need to get in the shower and get to bed kind of quick because we stayed up a little bit late because me and Jack were watching the last of the Studio Ghibli movies. We started watching them over a year ago, actually, before the one that just came out like last year actually came out. I think it was like in December of last year. That was the one we actually watched today. But and they don't come out very frequently. They're like several year gap between them, and there's not that many of them, but they've been coming out since like the 80s. So there's a pretty decent chunk of movies to watch, and me and Jack just really wanted to watch that. Jack's really like, that's what Jack wants to do, is like go into like film industry type stuff and things like that. So he appreciates a lot of like different types of film and stuff like that. And to be completely honest, me and Jack could watch just about any movie together, and even though he might not love it, like he appreciates at least a good movie, you know, like can laugh at a bad movie, a really bad movie, even if it's not a comedy. You just don't laugh at a really bad like made movie, I guess. Again too, it's like when we watch the movies though, like again, there's some that we've liked more than others, but like we've been able to kind of you know, like appreciate and find the things that like we've liked or appreciated in almost all of the movies. And again too, because they're a very different style than anything like, you know, again, like Western kind of, not Western movies. I feel like that's weird to say Western movies, but you know, like again, like Disney movies, like which are still kid movies as well, but like the Studio Ghibli movies are different than just being straight up kid movies, if that makes sense as well. So like I said, it's just a different type of movie that we don't really have, I guess, in like Western culture exactly. And like again too, like Disney movies are a lot different than that. But like My Neighbor Totoro or like Ponyo is like much more of a kids movie, but it's very different than like what you would find like as far as like a DreamWorks studio or a Disney, you know, like kind of movie, which like I said is really interesting and it's really fun to watch. So we finished watching the last of the movies, which I was like kind of sad about, but like also it was one of the better ones that I think we've seen. I don't know if I'd say it was my favorite movie. In fact, I think the first one, we watched them all in order of like when they came out, so I think I want to say that the first movie that we watched was my favorite one, and I think it still holds up as possibly being very, very close to being, you know, if not first, like tied for first with maybe another one, maybe two of them, but like again, very close up there. That was the first one that came out and the first one that we watched, and so that's why I'm always like, have I just been comparing everything back to that and like, you know, how that first one made me feel, because I didn't really know entirely what to expect. And like I said, when you watch it, it's a lot different than I think if you're like, oh, these are like more, again, like kid or family friendly movies, I guess you would call them. You know, like when you compare it to that and you think like, oh, Disney movies, or like again, like a DreamWorks, or you know, something like that, when you think of that and then you watch it, it's like, it's not really like that, you know. It's not anything like we have, you know. It's still like family friendly type movies for the most part. There's a couple that aren't necessarily that, but you know, like a lot of them are kind of like that. I mean, there's a couple I think that are like PG-13, but for the most part they're still like kind of more family friendly oriented kind of movies. That's why when, like I said, watching that and just it being so different of a movie watching, I guess, experience, like I'm wondering if I've just been comparing everything back to the first one that I saw, or is that actually my favorite. So the plan was that we were going to watch all of them all the way through, and then we were going to find out if my dad and possibly my mom also wanted to watch them with us. Like my dad definitely said he wanted to, but we were going to watch like all of them probably again. I wanted to watch them just to be like, okay, like is the way we kind of ranked them or the way we thought of them the same, you know, like do we still like them, you know, the same amount like rewatching them? Because some of them, honestly too though, the stories are, I don't want to say confusing, but they're like deep at some points as well, and like again, like plot points, like you need to pay attention to the movie as well. It's not just super, and not all of them are like super easy breezy, like, you know, you can just kind of like casually watch. Some of them, in order to really appreciate them, I think you have to really pay attention to kind of all of the subtle like details and subtle like again too, like the things that the topics that they're trying to tell too, and again too, like the way they're trying to tell things or the things that they're trying to tell in the movie. Like it's kind of, with certain elements of it, it can kind of be one of those almost blink and you'll miss it kind of things too. So I'm like, was there certain things that maybe I didn't like about a certain movie just because I didn't really notice or didn't really pay attention? And some of them too are very cultural, like again too, like like folktale, maybe even to an extent, since I'm not insanely familiar with like Japanese culture. Like some of the stuff I did pick up on, but there were other things too that, like I said, I didn't entirely know. So like, again, did that influence maybe some of the way that I thought of some of those movies, just because I didn't really know that much about them, or you know, like those points that were in the movie or whatever. So just because of that, like, I really want to go back and rewatch them. So we asked if my dad wanted to watch them with us, and even too, maybe my mom would want to watch them as well. But, and I want to see like what their reaction is to it, because like I said, I think me and Jack are very much on the same wavelength. Like when it comes to movies, like we can watch and appreciate them, or like find the things that we like about them, or really like go deep into a movie and can appreciate a really well made movie, or really well, like good plot type movie and stuff like that, and appreciate all those little hidden details in a movie as well. And like me and Jack, like I said, I think are on the same wavelength. And so while my dad, I think, can be, and my mom can be too, like in certain situations, it's just like I said, like me and Jack, I feel like are very much, again, on the same wavelength when it comes to that. I don't know so much, like my mom and dad will have different tastes too, I guess, is another thing. Like me and Jack have different tastes and stuff that we like, but like again, me and Jack watch La La Land, which is a little bit more of like a chick flick, you know, like musical kind of thing, which like I wouldn't think Jack would really like, but he appreciated it, if that makes sense too. And like there's certain things too, like I don't really like war movies and stuff like that, but there's certain ones that like I've seen that I can appreciate. You know, there's a lot of kind of, I guess, I don't really like horror movies though either, and like, you know, but again, seen some of them, watched some of them, you know, like, or like scary movies and stuff like that, like watch some of them and I can appreciate them, you know. And so whereas Jack might like, I don't actually know if he really likes like horror and like, you know, like scary movies that much, other than maybe outside of like Halloween time. But that'd be something interesting to ask him. I know, I think Matthew does. Matthew likes a lot of like the horror movies and stuff like that, but I don't know if Jack's that big into it. But again, he can appreciate a really well made, or really well, you know, like good plot type movie and stuff like that. And so again, like, would my mom and my dad kind of, you know, again, would it be their taste too, I think is the other thing. So like I said, it'd be interesting to go through and rewatch them and rewatch them with them as well. But me and Jack already said that 2 of them we think we want to watch like around Halloween possibly, because they are a little bit more Halloween maybe-ish movies, like the slightest bit. There's none that are really like Halloween movies, but they're ones that are a little bit more like geared towards the spooky aspect of things, you know. So we were talking about that and we were like, we might try and watch those like around or before Halloween or something. So anyways though, like I said, I'm gonna get in the shower and get to bed, but I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.